Guys, Will here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be doing a head-to-head review of the 2024 Ram Rebel 1500 and 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn with the built-to-serve package.
And a big thanks to Mike at Furman Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram in Newport Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Newport Richey, Tampa, Clearwater area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And as for Mike.
And for those of you guys who don't know, this is the final year of the 5th generation Ram 1500. This generation Ram really revolutionized the truck market to not only include top-level technology in their full-size pickups, but also to create pickups that are as comfortable to drive as they are capable. And speaking of that, the two trucks that you see here may have the best balance of comfort and capability left on the road today, at least in their respective price point. Prior to the TRX, the Rebel you see here on the left was the most off-road capable truck sold by Ram, featuring about a 2-inch lift compared to a regular Ram 1500, an upgraded suspension, and 33-inch all-terrain tires. The built-to-serve that you see here on the right is almost as equally capable as the Rebel now, but costing $10,000 to $15,000 less, while being surprisingly similarly equipped as well, essentially combining the off-road package on the Bighorn with the Night Edition. The sticker price in these two trucks are pretty high. The Bighorn with the built-to-serve here is $63,000, but it is fully loaded, and the Rebel that you see here stickers at $74,000. But as you guys are well aware by now, Ram, for their last model for the 5th gen Ram 1500s, are giving some serious discounts on these trucks. On the website of Furman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Newport Richey, Florida, they got these trucks listed on the right for the built-to-serve at $51,000, on the left for the Rebel at about $67,000. So after discounts, it's definitely a more affordable package of trucks, and let's jump right in. So as far as front end styling, we mentioned that similarly equipped to a Night Edition and off-road package, but unlike the Night Edition Bighorns, the black trim we get in the front is a flat black, also similar to what we would get on the Rebel, but compared to my 2023 Ram Bighorn with the Night Edition package, I do kind of prefer the gloss black trim compared to the flat black, at least for the Bighorn. For the Rebel, I also think that this flat black looks really cool. This white on black contrast also just adds to it with the sport aggressive hood, also not something that we get on the built-to-serve. Both trucks, of course, are Hemi e-torque equipped, cranking out 395 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque. We have the LED headlamps, LED fog lights, full front parking sensing. Neither truck here gets a 360 camera. Both trucks get the 12-inch touchscreen. Both trucks get the 9-speaker Alpine sound system, which sounds really good. No, it's not the Harman Kardon, but it's also a significant upgrade to the base, which both trucks unfortunately would come standard with if you don't get the upgraded packages. Hopefully you can pick up the fog lights. We also get tow hooks on both trucks. I like both front ends, but as far as aggressive styling, the Rebel 100% wins, especially with the sport hood, which I believe comes standard. We'll check out both window stickers in 1 second. Both trucks get the exact same running boards. I'll take a step over here to the side. Hopefully you can pick them up. My problem with these running boards is they're a little bit high up, so it's almost the exact same level as it would be if there were no running boards at all. But that allows you to have a little bit more ground clearance if you take these trucks off-road. We'll take a step out here towards the Rebel, show you guys, again, the exact same running board. Both trucks get a raised ride height, but even still, I believe the Bighorn built-to-serve sits about ½ an inch lower, at least up front. The Rebel definitely looks like it has about ½ an inch to an inch in the front end lift, and I guess it should, because the tires in the Rebel are 33s as we mentioned, and here for the built-to-serve they're a little bit lower than a 32, but they're still super aggressive. We get the Falcon Wild Peak all-terrain tires. They're the exact same tire setup that my dad gets on his limited Longhorn edition with the off-road package. 20-inch wheels. The Rebel gets 18-inch wheels, so the tires have a little bit more beef look to them. 6-lug pattern. I like the gunmetal gray wheel design. I prefer the black wheels we get on the Night Edition, or at least I get in the Bighorn Night Edition, but these tires are a big upgrade, and with these fatter tread blocks, the ride quality is a significant upgrade compared to my Bighorn without the off-road package. Even with the Rebel, with these all-terrain tires, the Rebel gets about 10 more PSI of inflation in the tires, which will compromise a little bit of the ride quality, but even still, with the 50 PSI tires, it still rides a little bit better, with a little bit better body control compared to my Bighorn without the off-road package. So that's one regret that I do have with my Bighorn. I kind of wish I got this built-to-serve instead, and throughout this review, you'll see exactly why. I don't particularly love the all-black Ram logo in the front. It's kind of hard to differentiate, especially in broad daylight. I mentioned in a bunch of my Bighorn reviews that you can go on reflectiveconcepts.com, get a genuine Mopar sticker overlay for the Ram with like a white outline, and it completely transforms the look of this front end. But I also love that we get the full LED headlamps. That's another thing the Built-to-Serve gets that the regular Night Edition and the Level 2 Equipment Group Bighorns do not get. And again, I really wish you had that, because the Night Edition package costs almost as much as this Built-to-Serve package, but you do lose a lot of goodies. You don't get the LED headlamps, you don't get the LED tail lamps, you don't get all-terrain tires, and you don't get the raised ride height. You also don't get the fender flares, which are body color here on the Built-to-Serve, and they're flat black on the Rebel. Let's take a step over here. Check out the sport hood. It says 1500 Hemi e-torque. It says the exact same thing on the Bighorn, but it's a little bit bigger here. The sport hood kind of hides both the Hemi and the e-torque. On reflectiveconcepts.com, you can also get red inserts for the Hemi, so it pops a little bit more. We get functional heat extractors here for the sport hood as well. We mentioned Rebel gets 18-inch rims with 33-inch Goodyear Wrangler all-terrain tires. They're Duratrax, and the Built-to-Serve gets Falcon Wild Peak all-terrains, 33-inch tires, a little bit under a 32-inch tire. We'll take a closer look at these tires. The tread pattern on these are definitely significantly more aggressive than the tread pattern we get on the Wild Peaks. These are a huge upgrade compared to the non-off-road package Ram 1500s, but compared to these Duratrax, I don't think that we can even compare. And as you see, there is a little bit more of a wheel gap for the Built-to-Serve, so these tires definitely have a little bit less of a diameter, but as you see from this angle, the Rebel does appear to sit about half an inch to an inch higher. We also get the Night Edition package on this Rebel, which I wouldn't say is necessarily necessary, but it does black out contrast the white paint color a little bit better. We get black window trim on both trucks. The mirrors are different. So the mirrors here on this Built-to-Serve are similar to what I get on my Bighorn and what my dad gets on his Limited Longhorn. It's a regular mirror, no blind spot monitoring. It's heated, but we get the blind spot pocket in the corner, which helps you see a little bit more to the right or to the left, depending on which mirror you're looking at. This Rebel gets a whole different style for the mirror. Unfortunately, it's not a tow mirror, and we still don't get blind spot monitoring. This outside pocket, although it's larger, it doesn't really show you what you need to see as easily. I'm sure it's adjustable, but all the adjustments, as you see for this outside thing, are manual. This, of course, is power adjustable. I wish we had blind spot monitoring either way. Both trucks also get blacked out door handles. The Rebel gets smart access, which is a huge feature in my opinion, because the Bighorn, no Bighorn, whether you get Built-to-Serve, Level 2, Level 1, doesn't matter, no Bighorn gets smart access, which I didn't know when I bought the Bighorn. When I just bought it, I saw that it had push button start, it had an intelligent key, but when I got to the actual truck, I saw there's no button here, so you gotta pull your key out of your pocket every single time to lock it on lock. Both gas caps are pushed to open. Ram recommends 89 octane fuel, which is what I use in my Bighorn, but you can get away with 87, especially if you do long trips and lots of miles. Out rear, both trucks have the same taillights and rear bumper. The Rebel gets a different overall tailgate design with Rebel badging in the left corner, 4x4 in the right corner, and a hard Ram emblem in the center, unlike the actual horned Ram emblem in the back of the Built-to-Serve. Also for the Built-to-Serve, we get an American flag with the Built-to-Serve underneath it. That's kind of the theme of this truck. More off-road capable and more American themed. We even have a gun lockbox in the front seat, which is also pretty cool. I mentioned the same LED taillights, 4x4 in the corner, same rear bumper, full rear parking sensing with front parking sensing on both trucks, but no 360s on either. Black exhaust tips. We get the Class 4 trailer hitch cover. Shout out Furman, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram in Newport Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. The Built-to-Serve is based off of a Bighorn, as you see in the left corner, and instead of Ram being illuminated, or not illuminated, but badged on the tailgate, we have a horned 3D emblem. Both trucks here, of course, are 5.7 liter Hemi equipped. We'll fire them up, you'll hear how they sound, but they're gonna sound just about the exact same for both of them. No spray and bed liner here on the Built-to-Serve. You can get it done from Line-X for about 600 bucks. Ram also has it for 600 bucks. This specific Ram does not get it from the factory. On the opposite side, you see that the American flag is backwards on this side. As you can guess, it's not backwards on the opposite side. So the reason they do that is so it looks the same on both sides, as if you're looking at a flag like this, and then you turn around and look at the flag from the other perspective. I think they should make it straight on both sides. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, but at the end of the day, who really cares? One thing I gotta complain about with this Built-to-Serve is we get the raised ride height, which I 100% appreciate and think is awesome, but we don't get the full rear wheel liners, as you guys can see. So I'd recommend adding that in the aftermarket. I don't have it on my Bighorn either, but I also don't have a lift on my Bighorn. With the lift, you really see a lot more of what's going on in there, so I'd recommend just getting some liners so you don't. Anyway, we mentioned that there's no bed liner here on this Built-to-Serve. The Rebel, let's hop out back and see what's going on back there. As you guys can probably see by now, we do get a bed liner here on the Rebel. It's $600 from Mopar. Again, maybe that's worth the 15K, but maybe it's not, so I'd recommend just going to Line-X if you get the built to serve for $600 and get it done. Both trucks outside of the bed liner are identical back here. We don't get the LED lighting group. We get 4 tie downs in the corners, no ram boxes, 5'7" box. You can shut this trunk, or not trunk, tailgate right up. Another feature that these trucks don't both have, the Rebel, it's an option, has an electronically dropping tailgate. You just press a button, the key fob, and the tailgate drops. The Bighorn built to serve does not get that. I'm pretty sure the Bighorn built to serve isn't even available with that feature. The Rebel also doesn't get wheel liners, which is a little bit of a head scratcher. So if you get the Rebel, I would also recommend going somewhere and get the wheel liners installed. So overall, the feature that the Rebel has that the Bighorn doesn't have, at least for the exterior: sport hood, larger, beefier tires, smart access for the door handles, and a bed liner, but you can get a bed liner in on the built to serve with no problem. Outside of that, I mean, the $15,000 price difference, so far, in my opinion, I simply have not seen it. Let's fire up both these trucks, and here they sound. Alright guys, that was the sound of the 5.7 liter Hemi V8, which is equipped in both of these trucks. It sounds identical, making the same amount of power at 395 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque. Made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission with four-wheel drive auto, so you're probably going to leave it in two-wheel drive, but regardless, with these beefier tires, I wouldn't expect any serious amount of wheel spin. I'd expect 0 to 60 between 6 and 6.5 seconds, depending on your launch. But anyway, what you see is basically what we get. The hydraulic struts are appreciated on both of these built to serve and Rebel trim level trucks. I mentioned we get the sport hood here on the Rebel. It's a standard feature. That's one of the reasons why this Rebel looks a lot more aggressive in the exterior. That and the grille design. Outside of that, really not a whole lot is different with this front end. The bumpers are about the same. The rear bumpers are about the same. Headlights are the same. Power plant's the same. We get full front parking sensing. As far as the interior, let's take a step out into this Rebel. Take a quick look. Again, smart access for the driver and the front passenger, but no blind spot monitoring on the glass. We'll turn these lights back to auto so the truck's not yelling at me. As far as the interior, we don't get any stitching up top. We do get stitching for the armrest, but it's the same exact thing on the built to serve. We get some leatherette in the center. That's a little bit different, and some faux carbon trim. Aluminized door handle, 2-person memory seats. That's different. We don't get 2-person memory seats on the built to serve. Auto one touch up front. We do get that, and 2 tiers of storage. I don't believe the built to serve gets these cup holders, but they can be purchased for like 10 bucks, so not a big deal. Both trucks get the exact same audio system. Both trucks get the exact same sound system. The steering wheel is slightly different here on this Rebel trim compared to the built to serve. The seats are also different. This is probably the biggest difference. We get full, genuine leather seats. They're perforated, they're heated, not ventilated. For this price point, it needs to get ventilated seats in order to be a better purchase compared to that built to serve. The center console is also a little bit different. And we mentioned Alpine audio system, but we get that on both of the trucks. It also says Rebel on this upper second glove box area. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera. But outside of that, really not a whole lot of differences. We get power adjustable pedals, tilt and telescoping steering wheel, but it's not power. And we don't get auto rain sensing wipers on either truck. Let's take a step out towards the built to serve, see what that interior looks like, and see if the price difference becomes a little bit more worth it. Anyway, taking a step inside, turn these lights back to auto so the truck's not yelling at me. We don't get any stitched material up top. We get stitching in the center just like on the Rebel, and instead of the leatherette trim that the Rebel had, here we just get cloth. Same trim accents as the Rebel, and we get this chrome aluminized door handle instead of the straight aluminum. This, I think, looks a little bit more premium. I think this is what we get on the limited trim. 2 tiers of storage. As you mentioned, we don't get those 2 cup holders, but I'm sure you can purchase them for 10, 15 bucks online. The seats are the same power adjustability, but they're not full leather. Here we have this leatherette trim for the outsides and this cloth microfiber in the center. In my opinion, this is more comfortable, but as far as like wear and tear, no, we don't get a full leather seat compared to the Rebel. But in my opinion, these are just as comfortable, and with the softer inserts for the butt and the back portion, it not only feels softer, but it also keeps you in place because you dig a little bit deeper into these bolsters. We get some Alcantara for for the Built to Serve Ram trim. But overall, these seats are really comfortable. If I went with a Built to Serve, hopefully you guys have seen my Bighorn video and I showed you guys my seat covers. If you haven't, make sure you see my most recent Ram for my 2023 Ram Bighorn. It was a 7,500 mile update, and I'll show off my seat covers. I do think my seat covers are a little bit more comfortable and premium looking than this, but if I got the Built to Serve, I do not think that I would get seat covers for this truck, unlike the regular Bighorn. Full adjustability, the steering wheel, as we mentioned, it's a full leather trim. The Rebel had subtle perforation for the 9 and 3 area. The Rebel also had a stitched dashboard, which I didn't mention. Here, just like all Bighorns, we get a hard plastic dashboard. But still, with the Alpine audio system, the exact same system we get on the more expensive Rebel, the exact same sound system we get on the more expensive Rebel, we get the trailer brake controller too. The Rebel had auto reverse trailer steering. We also had hill descent control on the Rebel. Here we just have an axle lock, but that's still appreciated, just like on the off-road package. And we get 4-wheel drive auto, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive high, and 4-wheel drive low. Really impressive. Unlike the Rebel upper part of the glove box, it just says Built to Serve on it. Let's fire up this Built to Serve real quick, and hopefully you see the fire up process. So another difference, of course, is the digital gauge display. The Rebel has a full digital gauge display, which we'll check out in 1 second. This Built to Serve takes about 10 psi less in the tires. Let's close out of that. And since it takes 10 psi less in the tires, the ride quality here should be a significant upgrade. But compared to my Bighorn, everything here is identical, so we really don't have to go through a whole lot. Fuel economy, this vehicle idles a lot, so don't take that too seriously. My Bighorn averages about 18 miles per gallon. Touchscreen, the exact same thing as the Rebel. The trim's the exact same, just the actual dashboard materials are a little bit different. We don't get the reverse trailer steering controller. Let's check out the backup camera. On the Bighorn, we get guidance lines, but no trajectory. It's still a very high resolution display with this 12-inch touchscreen, throwing it back into park. With the Built to Serve package, we get a USB port up top, and we have a lockable storage that's specific to the Built to Serve package. So if you have a gun, you live in a state where it has to be locked up, Ram thinks it through. And just like all Ram trucks, we still get the equations and ratios and conversions on the inside, or in the inside of the center console. We get USB A and C ports. No wireless charging pad. The Rebel does get it. We get an AC outlet in the front. We don't get an AC outlet in the back. The Rebel does get an AC outlet in the back. But anyway, that's about it for the front seat of this 2024 Built to Serve. We still get the garage home opener. The interior lights do not appear to be LED, but the exterior lights are. Both trucks get an electronically opening rear window, and we get more of that suede Alcantara trim on the seats. Let's hop out back, quickly just see what the features and materials look like back there. Oops, ended up dropping the key. These running boards, I mentioned it earlier, that they're a little bit high up for my liking. So taking a step into this truck by the running board isn't really a whole lot different than just taking a step into the truck itself. Out rear, we don't get soft touch materials. The Rebel, I believe, does get it. We'll check that out in 1 minute. Same material in the center and a gushy soft armrest. No auto one touch window out back either. Alpine speakers, we get more Alpine speakers right above the rear passengers' heads, and the rear seats are still that faux leather with contrasted microfiber for the butt and back portion. The legroom is insane in every Ram truck. These little mat pockets have these notches. The Rebel does not get those. The mat pockets themselves are pretty large. You can also lift these seats up, access a flat floor. You can throw a sleeping bag back here or some dog beds and bring everyone along to the party. You can also check out some of the secret storage. You throw all your car accessories, maybe hunting equipment or whatnot in there. That's about it though, guys. As far as legroom, both trucks are the same and super impressive. As you see, over a foot of knee room and at least 2-3 inches of headroom. We get air vents, no climate control, no AC outlet in the back. The Rebel does get an AC outlet in the back, but outside of that, this is the exact same truck and you're saving over $10,000. That's about it though, guys, for the Built to Serve. Let's hop over to the Rebel. See what the differences are, but I'm telling you right now, the differences are very, very minor. So taking a step inside, we'll fire her up, put on the brake, engine start stop. And as you see, the biggest difference of this interior is the full 12.3-inch digital gauge display, which looks sick, makes this vehicle look a lot more premium. Same with the stitched dashboard, makes this interior look a lot more premium. But outside of that, this is the exact same interior for a lot more money. The button next to axle lock back here, it's like a hill descent control. It's more of a cruise control for off-road environments. You can select the speed while you're in 4-wheel drive mode. Anyway, the touchscreen, let's check out the backup camera, see if we get trajectory. We get guidance lines, but no trajectory still. So I guess you got to go up to the limited Longhorn or Laramie or above that to get the backup camera with trajectory. Throwing it back into park. We mentioned we get the reverse trailer steering. We get hard buttons instead of those latches because of the reverse trailer steering for tow haul and the disabling of the parking sensors and the traction control right next to it. We mentioned it says Rebel in the upper part of the glove box instead of Bighorn, but the space is identical in both. Frameless auto dimming rear view mirror for both trucks. 3 garage home link settings. The interior lights are the exact same as the built to serve. That's about it though, guys, for the front seat of this Rebel. Before we do that, we mentioned the Ram logo on the center console. The Bighorn does not get that. Still get the USB-C port or USB-A port. Still get the conversions and ratios, but we do not get the lockable gun storage down below. We do, however, get a wireless phone charger, but as you guys know, they take forever to charge, so not necessarily a perk. We get an AC outlet just like we had on the built to serve. Let's hop out back, see how much space is offered back there, and then take these monsters out for a drive to see if there's any difference between them. So out back, up top, we still get hard plastic. So you gotta go up to the Laramie trim to get a soft touch rear door panel. We still get that leatherette trim in the center, soft touch for the armrest, no auto one touch. We get 2 tiers of rear storage. The running board, as you mentioned, is a little bit high up, but it's still a little bit better than hopping into the truck without one at all. We get a grab handle, making the process a little bit easier. The rear seats are full genuine leather, unlike on the built to serve. You can still lift them up, access a flat floor, and also have that storage cubby for your hunting equipment, fishing equipment, car accessories, or whatnot. The interior space, as you guys can see, is the exact same. Over a foot of knee room, about 3 inches of headroom. We have heated second row seats and a rear AC outlet, 2 cup holders up top. Before we wrap things up, let me hop over to the built to serve real quick, grab the window sticker, compare it to the window sticker of the Rebel, and just really show you the differences between these trucks. Okay, I could have probably cut some of that out and not wasted the last 10 seconds of your guys' time, but here you go. You got the 2024 Ram 1500 Rebel Crew Cab 4x4 with a $59,300 base price, $74,650 after all of these options and features. Whereas the Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 with the built to serve is $51,185 before the built to serve. With the built to serve is an additional $3,195. So you're looking at about $54K for the built to serve. You're looking at about $60K for the base Rebel. So about a $6,000, $7,000 difference in price point. We'll evaluate this Bighorn first. Standard features, you guys can pause, take a look. There are definitely a lot less standard features on the Bighorn compared to the Rebel. The Rebel is equipped a lot more like a Laramie trim compared to a Bighorn. But with the built to serve edition, we get the 275/55/20 BSW all-terrain tires, raised ride height, lockable console storage by Mopar, medium graystone accent stitching, black onyx interior accents, black headlamp bezels, black tubular side steps by Mopar, same as we have here on the Rebel, 20 by 9 inch aluminum wheels, electronic locking rear axle, front and rear rubber floor mats by Mopar, front suspension skid plate, fuel tank skid plate, steering gear skid plate, transfer case skid plate, tow hooks. So basically just the off-road package combined with the night edition package, but you do get some specifics that are exclusive to the built to serve, like the American flags and whatnot. We also have the Level B equipment group, which gave us the touchscreen and the sound system. On top of that, we also have the 2-way lumbar for the driver's seat, connected travel services, electronic shift on demand transfer case, which gives us the 4-wheel drive auto, Class 4 trailer hitch, second row and floor storage bins, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, heated front seats, heated steering wheel, 8-way power driver's seat, parking sensors for the front and the rear, power pedals, power folding mirrors, rear sliding window, remote start, and the Ram Connect. The Hemi's $3,000, 23-gallon fuel tank, $295 for the trailer brake controller, $2,000 destination totals us out right under $64,000. And considering that my Ram 1500 Bighorn was almost the exact same price, I really think that I prefer the way that that built to serve drives. I can't say that I prefer the way that it looks, at least in the front, but with the LED headlamps, I do think that I would rather have purchased a built to serve. It's just they were not available at the time of my purchase. As far as the Rebel, you mentioned tick under 60K, we get a lot more standard features, 392 rear axle ratio, so we'll see if it feels a little bit quicker off the line, skid plates, upgraded suspension, and the raised ride height. $695 for the comfort and convenience group. You guys can pause, take a look at everything that comes with that. $2,000 for the trailer tow group, giving us the reverse trailer steering. $2,145 for the night edition. and 2565 for the level 1 equipment group, which is what gives us the 12-inch touchscreen and the upgraded sound system, heated seats, heated steering wheel. Those are not standard on a Rebel, so this level 1 equipment group is just about a must get. $195 for the shift and the fly, $3,000 for the Hemi. The Hemi's not standard on the Rebel. I did not expect that when I first checked out the window sticker. $695 for the side steps, those are also not standard. $245 for the remote start, also not standard. $445 for the Class 4 trailer hitch, $495 for the Park Sense front and rear with stop and go, $595 for the spray and bed liner, $195 for the tow assist kit. Same destination, totaling us out a tick under $75,000. So as you see, sticker price, we have a difference of about $12,000. After discounts, the difference in discounts between the two is about $4,000. So as far as dealership asking price, they're asking about $67,000 for the sticker price in this Rebel and about $51,000 for this Bighorn, assuming of course that you qualify for all rebates and incentives, assuming that you qualify with credit, and assuming that you can negotiate a little bit as well. The difference in price here is drastic. Let me know in the comment section if you guys would pay the extra money and go for the Rebel, because at the end of the day, it's a way nicer truck, but this is still a beautiful truck that gives you just about everything you want and need while undercutting the cost of the Rebel pretty drastically. Performance-wise, let's take these monsters out for a drive and see what the differences are. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new 2024, well, not all-new, final year 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn Built to Serve Edition. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. I mentioned it, I don't know if I mentioned it on YouTube, but this was definitely the truck that I wanted the most, the Built to Serve Bighorn. I never really liked the way that the flat black looked on the front end compared to the Night Edition, but outside of that, this is just the ultimate, in my opinion, balance of premium, capability, and looks. I mean, it rides so good. My Bighorn rides really well, but with those all-season tires are a little bit thinner compared to these all-terrains, and the tread blocks are a little bit smaller. These ride a lot better, and with this upgraded suspension, it's also really, really improved. The engine start-stop with this e-torque system is just about seamless, one of the best systems in the business, about half throttle. Whew! Got a little wheel chirp in the beginning there, but it picks up speed well. It feels about as quick as my Bighorn, maybe a tiny bit slower because of the slightly beefier tires, but other than that, it feels the exact same. Of course, if I was to get this Built to Serve Edition, I would 100% get an upgraded muffler setup, but even without the upgraded muffler, the factory muffler has a very solid amount of beef to it. So if you're not the kind of person that wants an obnoxious sounding truck, you can also just get a cold air intake system and just get a little bit more grunt when you actually lean into the throttle. Because as far as factory induction noise, you really don't hear a whole lot. Just cruising along, super, super quiet. We'll do a window check. We do get dual panes just like on my Bighorn, so to be expected. Of course, my phone is bracketed onto the window, so I apologize if you guys just got a decent amount of shakiness through the screen. We'll take a step out here. The cylinder deactivation, you notice it, but it's not drastic. Same thing as my Bighorn. I personally disable cylinder deactivation when I drive my truck, and I still average about 18 miles per gallon. I don't drive too tough, like on the throttle, but I'm not necessarily a baby with it either. So for me to average 18 miles per gallon, definitely better than what I was expecting. Driving over the bumps with this upgraded suspension and all-terrain tires, the ride quality is amazing. Noticeably better than the Bighorn without the all-terrain tires. Whenever my tires wear out, I will 100% install some type of all-terrain. Maybe I'll do Falcon Wild Peak all-terrains because the ride quality with them is fantastic. So I mentioned you can turn off the cylinder deactivation, which is what I do when I drive my truck. So in order to do that, you just press this minus button on the steering wheel and then press plus until you reach the 8 so it doesn't limit you in the gears. We'll slow down a little bit, try out a moving pull on the gas. Whew! Yeah, this thing's got very good get up and go. Compared to other V8 engines in the truck segment, pickup truck segment, it makes similar power to a Nissan Titan, but I think that the Ram 1500 is a little bit quicker than a Nissan Titan. It makes about the same power as a Ford 5.0, but it's competitive in acceleration to a 5.0. The F-150 weighs a little bit less than a Ram, so the 0 to 60 time for the F-150 will be a few tenths of a second quicker. But as far as actual sensation of speed, this 5.7 liter V8 is strong, way stronger than a 5.3 from GM. Not quite as strong as a 6.2, but the 6.2 averages like 12, 13 mpgs. And as I mentioned, with the Hemi, I average about 18, which is a great surprise. And just cruising along, not only is the ride quality a little bit better and the body control a little bit better than my Bighorn, I think it's quieter too. I think I hear less road noise and I might hear less wind noise. This is a seriously premium truck for the money. Obviously, we're talking about very minor, non-drastic differences compared to the Bighorn, my Bighorn, but there are differences, nevertheless, noticeable ones at that. This feels really, really premium. The brakes feel good. With cylinder deactivation off, you do not get regenerative braking. Taking a step out here, lean into it right here. Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah. Yeah, you look down and you are moving. The brakes feel good. Steering, not terrible, not great, but not terrible, and coming out. Woo. Traction control kicked in on there. Well, yeah, this is a powerful and capable vehicle. On concrete pavement, take a listen. I don't hear nothing. Do you guys hear nothing? I don't. So the road noise isolation, even though we get all-terrain tires, is really quiet. I think the Rebel, you'll hear a little bit more road noise. Not much, but I think it'll be a noticeable increase in road noise. Brakes, again, feel good. Steering, solid. Body roll, limited, and coming out. Whoa. Traction control again. We can try one out off the line. We will try it out in four-wheel drive auto because we've been chirping the tires quite a bit in this video. So four-wheel drive auto, off the line, on the gas. Oh yeah. It is a quick car. It doesn't feel as quick in four-wheel drive auto. Two-wheel drive definitely feels a little bit snappier, but it also puts the power down a lot better in four-wheel drive auto. Whew. Even in four-wheel drive auto, it just chirped the tires a little bit coming out of the turn. Like, that just tells you how much power this 5.7 liter Hemi actually makes. Steering feels a little bit sharper in four-wheel drive auto, probably because there's something to do with actual power being sent to the front wheels. But steering does get a little bit lighter in two-wheel drive. Throttle response gets a little bit sharper. But overall, even at $63,000 on the sticker price, this is a really impressive truck. You get premium seats, you get a premium audio system, 12-inch touchscreen, unbelievable ride quality and body control, unbelievable levels of refinement, isolation from the road, all top-notch premium. This is competitive to pickup trucks that are costing $10,000 to $15,000 more when you're looking at some competition from Ford, GMC, even Chevrolet. This is a really impressive pickup truck and costing $15,000-ish less than the Rebel. Let's hop into that Rebel and see if the increase in price is worth it or not. All right, guys, taking a step out here in the 2024 Ram 1500 Rebel. Just leave a piece of paper in the way. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. My first impression, the steering feels a little bit heavier. Over the bump, felt good, but it didn't feel quite as soft as the Built to Serve did. Steering definitely feels beefier though. Throttle response feels sharper. I attribute that to the 392 gears. But outside of that, you really don't feel a whole lot of a difference. The throttle does feel sharper, and you do hear a little bit of tire noise, and that was only 30 miles per hour. Taking a step out here, the throttle does feel pretty good. The gears do feel a little bit shorter, but because of the gears feeling shorter, it also feels like it stays in the power band longer. At about 52 miles per hour, definitely more tire noise compared to the Built to Serve, but not by much. It's still a relatively quiet interior. Steering feels a little bit floatier at higher speeds, definitely something to do with the beefier all-terrain tires. But with the tighter gear ratios, it feels like the throttle response is just as good, if not better. Just like in the Bighorn Build to Serve, the cylinder deactivation is just about not noticeable. It just actually activated from 4 to 6 and it had a little bit of a jerkiness to it. I personally am not the biggest fan of the cylinder deactivation, so for that reason, I'm gonna turn it off. To turn it off, as I mentioned several times, you press the minus on the gear limit button and then go all the way up to the 8th gear so that it doesn't downshift or limit you in the gear. We'll let this guy in front of us get a little bit of space, try out about half throttle. Ooh, way better response. And it feels like it pulls stronger too with these shorter gears. Interesting. The 3rd gear is a lot more power band oriented here with the 392s because it shifts you at a second closer to 40 miles per hour. With the 321s, it shifts you closer to 50. So the 3rd gear starts you at around 50 and goes to about 70. Here, 3rd gear starts around 40 and shifts you at around 63, 64. The brakes still feel really good. Let this guy in front of us get a little bit more distance. Try one out off the line. 2-wheel drive, off the line, on the gas. Oh, yeah, roasted them. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, those are some short gears, but it gets up and goes. We'll have to try out an acceleration off the line in 4-wheel drive auto because it definitely roasts the tires in 2-wheel drive, which I guess just says that this power plant is more than powerful enough. But all right, guys, we're in 4-wheel drive auto once this car passes. Okay, let's try it out off the line. Oh, yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, it feels strong. I don't know if it's quicker with the 392s, but the power band definitely feels more consistent. Brakes feel good, steering feels good, body roll's limited and coming out. Ho, 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 ho. It is a quick truck, and just cruising along on the concrete pavement, it's still really quiet. You definitely hear these beefier all-terrains a little bit more than the Falcon Wild Peaks we had in the Built to Serve, but really not by much. For these 33-inch beefy Goodyear Wrangler dirt tracks, this is a really isolated cabin. Of course, I'm sure we get dual panes. Yes, we get dual panes just like on the Built to Serve. Steering feels a little bit tighter, just like in the Built to Serve in 4-wheel drive auto. It kicks. And it sounds good too. Overall, guys, if you're looking for a premium off-road capable full-size pickup truck and you want to focus more on the premium, at least the level 1 equipment group, you get the nicer touchscreen, nicer audio system, leather seats, heated steering wheel, beefy all-terrain tires, upgraded suspension, skid plates protecting you underneath in case you do take it out off-road. This Rebel, outside of the TRX, is as off-road capable as a Ram pickup truck will get out of the box. It has a ton of power, about 400 horsepower, over 400 pound-feet of torque, 4-wheel drive. No, it doesn't have front and rear lockers, but the rear locker will be enough for you 99.9% of the time, essentially giving you an off-road package Laramie while also giving you the beefiest all-terrain tires that Ram has to offer outside of the 35s that you can get on the TRX. If that's what you're looking for, guys, this 2024 Rebel is the way to go. I know it's up there in price. It's a little bit under $75K before discounts, but after discounts, you're looking at around $60. Makes it an almost no-brainer. That Bighorn Built to Serve, it has a locking rear differential, all-terrain tires, which, yes, they're an inch and a half smaller in diameter compared to these 33s. Yes, the suspension isn't as heavily upgraded, and no, the front suspension isn't as highly lifted as this Rebel. Even still, it's more capable than my Bighorn. It has more premium interior than my Bighorn with those leatherette accented seats with microfiber inserts. 99% is comfortable. It's 85% as premium as this Rebel. And as far as performance and capability, I'd say it's at least 85 to 90% as capable. That was our red light camera alert. So if that's what you're looking for, guys, if you are looking for a more off-road capable truck that can still do 0 to 60 in around 6 seconds, tow around 10,000 pounds, have a payload a tick under 2,000 if you're including the weight of the driver, that Built to Serve is an excellent way to go. It has the capability, it has the comfort, and it has the performance. But if you're looking for the extra, the step above, you want the stitched dashboard, you want the more premium seats, and you want the more off-road capable Ram 1500, then this Rebel outside of the TRX is as good as you're gonna get. Let me know in the comment section which truck you'd prefer and why, but outside of that, that's about it. And a huge thanks to all of you guys for watching. And a big thanks to Mike and the rest of the management and staff here at Furman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Newport Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Newport Richey, Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Mike. And a huge thanks to all you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.